Welcome to NoFilter.net. I'm Hank Haney, and this is the Hank Haney podcast recording live on NoFilter.net. What a big day in the world of golf today. Nobody saw this one coming. The announcement of the merger between the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour, and the LIV Golf, the public investment fund which owns LIV Golf, is merging with the PGA Tour. It was announced this morning in a live interview with Jay Monahan and Yasser Al-Rumayyan, who is the governor of the Public Investment Fund, the Saudi investment fund that is funding the LIV Golf Tour, and they are merging together. Nobody saw this coming, especially not this morning. The best kept secret that I can remember. I mean, not even a rumor about this. I guess they let Greg Norman know about the merger like 2 minutes before they went on the interview on TV, so he didn't even know. No rumors about this anywhere in the golf world. But when you think about it, this is something that was probably going to happen. I mean, from this regard. One, you had the big lawsuit going on. Now the lawsuit, all the litigation is put behind both parties. So that's a thing of the past. They were spending millions and millions of dollars on that, not to mention all the brain work that they're having to do on all of it. So that goes away. And who knows how that would have gone. In all likelihood, one side wasn't doing great, or one side wasn't looking great, or one group's lawyers told them, hey, this could be a potential problem we have here. Who knows what the real story was on that, but that lawsuit is a thing of the past. The other thing that comes to mind with me when I was thinking about, why did this happen right now? I've been concerned, about a few things. And first off, my whole thing on the, people brand me or you love LIV Golf. Well, I love golf. Whatever is good for golf, I'm good with. I like watching LIV Golf. I'm not gonna tell you I don't like watching LIV Golf, because I like watching golf swings. I like watching players that I know. I like watching. I like the team format. I like it. It's something different. I like the fact that while I'm watching golf, there's not 22 different announcers I got to listen to. I like that. I like the fact that there's some music playing. The players are in shorts. It's a more relaxed atmosphere. So there's a lot of things I like about LIV Golf, but I like the PGA Tour too. I like watching the PGA Tour as well. But when I'm watching the PGA Tour and I'm watching LIV Golf and I'm watching this whole thing play out in the last couple of years, I saw where LIV Golf had a great plan. I mean, they had traction. There's no two ways about that. The detractors can say they didn't have traction, but they had traction. They were drawing good crowds. They had a good product. And I think the business plan with the teams was a good idea. But I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, okay, why don't they have any sponsors? And everybody says, oh, the sponsors are coming and they're going to sell their teams and they're going to do all this. And I thought, well, they've had enough of a startup run. I mean, they have one sponsor, Easy Post. When is LIV Golf going to start getting some sponsors? And as big a fan of LIV Golf as I still was skeptical about the fact that, are they really going to be able to put this together and make this a business? Now, people say, well, the public investment fund, they got all the money in the world. They don't need to worry about it making money. Well, that's true, but they didn't invest all this money just to never, ever get anything back. So that was one thing that I was looking at. I was saying, you know what? When is this going to start happening for them? And when are they going to sell one of these teams? You hear the rumors. Hey, Nike wants to spend $2 billion to own Brooks Koepka's team. That was a bunch of made up stuff, was all that was. That's somebody on the internet, on Twitter, making that up. That was not a real fact. No chance in the world Adidas or Nike was paying $2 billion to sponsor a team on LIV Golf. So that made me think LIV Golf has to figure out a way to work with somebody. And then I'm looking at the PGA Tour and I'm thinking, okay, they're going to raise their purses. Now they've raised all their purses. Where are they getting this money from? Now they got a lot of money, but that'll only fund a year or two. Or do they really want to, use all their reserve funds on funding extra money for purses? So how are they going to get the money for the purses? Okay, they're going to ask their sponsors for more money. Well, I don't think the sponsors want to pay more money, because what are we paying for? We got worse fields than we've had. And maybe you got a better field if you're on an elevated event, but what if you're a non-elevated event? You got a much worse field. So you're still paying that money. You should be getting a discount, but you're paying the same amount of money. The elevated fields, which is what you thought you were getting anyways, now you got to pay more money for that. And I'm thinking, how long can this go on? How long can they afford to do this without this working out somehow financially? So that didn't make sense. So when you look at it, both sides, I think, really needed to come up with some kind of a compromise, and that's what it sounds like they've done. I mean, they're forming this partnership. Nobody knows what this is going to be like. Everybody that's listening to my podcast wants me to, give them some information about, what's going to happen and what's going to do this and what's going to happen with this. I mean, everybody's guessing. I've been watching everywhere. I've been watching the Golf Channel. I've been listening on Twitter. Everybody's just talking to friends of mine in the golf business. Everybody's just guessing. Nobody really knows what's going to happen, except they're going to work together. And I'm sure there's endless amounts of possibilities of ways that they could make golf better, because that's the real winner in this is the game of golf. The game of golf is the absolute winner. When LIV Golf started, I said the players are the winners and golf is the winner. There's more golf tournaments. There's golf tournaments at places that didn't have golf tournaments. The LIV Golf events have been hugely successful in Tulsa, in Singapore, in Australia, where they didn't have events, and now all of a sudden they've got an event. It's been great. I mean, and people laughed and scoffed when they said grow the game, but they truly were growing the game. And you grow the game when you have good events that go to places that don't have events. So you can't deny that. That is a good thing. And now the opportunities are even more great. And not to mention the fact that the DP World Tour, which was absolutely dead in the water, dead, finished, done, over, game over, no avenue forward, just a feeder tour for the PGA Tour. And now all of a sudden, they have a hope of a glimmer of, hey, we're back in the game. So Keith Pelley, who I don't think had anything to do with the negotiation of this, maybe they let him know at the last minute too. He does whatever Jay Monahan says, who's the commissioner of the PGA Tour. And from his standpoint, he's probably just, oh my gosh, this potentially is a great, great thing, because I had no plan. I had no idea what I was going to do. Maybe he thought he had a plan, but not one that was confirmed or one that would possibly work. So it puts them in a great position too. So I think for the world of golf, this is something that is definitely going to be a step in the right direction. It's gonna grow the game. It's going to grow the purses. Is it going to grow the amount of players in the game? Hopefully, it should. And I just think overall it's just a great thing for golf. And it's amazing, because I've been a supporter of LIV Golf, and I've been a supporter of just golf in general for as long as LIV's been around. But I've been in golf forever. And I love the game. I just want to see it do better. I want to see more people play golf. I want to see more people enjoy golf. And that's really all I'm after. That to me is the end game right there. Because if everybody does better in golf, that's in golf, then that's a good thing. And I want people to enjoy this great game. So this was probably, something that most people thought would eventually happen. Boy, I sure don't think they thought it was going to happen today. I mean, it was just this caught everybody off guard. It caught the major championships off guard. I mean, Augusta, the Open Championship. I heard, Fred Ridley had a comment from Augusta. The sleeper Martin Slumbers had a comment from the RNA. Michael Wan had a comment from the USGA. I mean, everybody's got something to say, but oh my goodness. What do these people say now that have been so critical? People that have just dogged. And how do these hypocrites? Oh my God, the hypocrites. Oh, the dirty money. Don't touch the dirty money. Oh, how could you touch the dirty money? And what are they doing? They're taking the dirty money. I mean, listen, when you play that game, Charles Barkley said it best, it's selective outrage. If you follow the money to everything, you can find, I don't care what it is, follow the money and you will find something that doesn't look good at the end of the rainbow. You can just follow it as long as short. I don't care. Just follow the money. You will find something that doesn't look good. So that whole argument was such BS from the start. And come on, let's be serious here. I mean, that would just made no sense. I was just watching that video. Somebody posted on Twitter of Jay Monahan last year at the Canadian Open, him and Jim Nance, and they're going on and on and on about this dirty money. And there's Jay Monahan this morning on TV with Yasser Arrahman and saying that they're merging the Public Investment Fund, and they're merging with the PGA Tour. And I'm like, what happened to the dirty money? What happened to the dirty money speech? Oh my, flip a flop. How many times can you flip a flop? I mean, unbelievable. It's just incredible, these people. I mean, how can you even have a straight face? It's just remarkable. Like just crazy. And there's more questions than answers. Nobody has an answer. They had a big meeting. Jay Monahan met with the players. None of the players even knew about it. They found out on Twitter. Oh my God. They found out on Twitter. The board didn't even know. The PGA board, they didn't even know. They found out on Twitter. Oh, this whole thing, I guess, was put together by Jay Monahan, Yasser Arrahman, and Jimmy Dunn. Jimmy Dunn's the president of Seminole Club. He knows everybody in golf. I guess he's put a lot of corporate deals together and mergers. And he must have got these guys together and said, you guys need to talk or do whatever, which made sense. I mean, why didn't they do that from the start? And then they did it. Because you know why they didn't do it from the start? Because Monahan wouldn't do it. And why wouldn't he do it? Because he thought he could win. And when he didn't win, and I'm not saying he wouldn't have won, he might have won, but when he didn't win, he was forced to the table. And you know what? It's just like Phil Mickelson said. It's just exactly like he said. They had the leverage, and finally they had the leverage, and now everything. What did Phil Mickelson say that hasn't come true? My gosh. I mean, give the guy a little credit, will you? I mean, be fair. Just seriously, be fair. Give him a little credit. What has he said that didn't come true? Oh my God. Unbelievable. But what about these players? Oh, my God, they're so pissed. Oh, my God, they're so mad. Oh, they're steaming. Oh, can you believe it? Oh, what's Rory McIlroy thing? What did he turn down? $800 million? Oh, what did Tiger turn down? $1 billion? Oh, what do they get out of it? They get, what do they got? A pat on thanks for the support. Here's a couple million from Pip. Rory lost $3 million from Pip because he had to go take a vacation. What are they? How are they going to make up for $800 million? But Hideki Matsuyama, $400 million. Oh, he turned down. Oh, Colin Morikawa, what did he turn down? $150 million. Cantley, Schauffele. I mean, Rahm. What did Rahm turn down? 200, 300, $400 million. Oh. Will Zalatoris, that guy turned down like $125 million. Then he blew out his back. Could you imagine? I mean, I know those guys got a lot of money. They got more money than they'd ever know to do it. But I don't care. I mean, $100 million, $200 million, $400 million. I mean, what? And now you just get to come back. You get to come back. Like, see, I thought once they left, I was in total agreement. You go to the LIV Golf Tour, you're not allowed to come back. I always knew that all sounds good. You know what I say about some things? You say it fast and it sounds good. Just say it real. You're never going to be allowed to come back. Okay, just say it real fast. You're never going to be allowed to come back. But you know what? That's not the real world. What about when there's a new commissioner? What about when there's, a change of heart? What about when there's a merger that happens, within a year? How about that? What if there's a merger in a year? And those guys that left and they took the money, are they celebrating? Now they get to come back. They lost a few things. They lost to getting to play on the PGA Tour. They caught a lot of grief from them. But now what are they doing? They're playing in the majors. They're coming back. They're all going to be back on the PGA Tour. And the guys that stayed, the loyal guys that turned down the money, how do they ever make that money back? Will Zalatoris blew out his back, turned down $125 million or whatever he turned down because he wanted to win tournaments on the PGA Tour. You can still win tournaments on the PGA Tour. Oh, my gosh. How do they make – see, this is one of the biggest questions I have. How do they make these players buy into this? I don't see how they do. I don't see. I mean, this Commissioner Monahan. Boy, oh boy. I mean, he's got a job to do right there. I mean, how in the world is he going to get these players? How do you go to talk to any Colin Morikawa? How do you go talk to him and say, "Hey, I know you turned down $150 million. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. They're all coming back, and it seems to me. Now, I don't know. I heard. I was talking to one of my friends. He says, he said one of the things I heard is that they're gonna try to make these guys whole. Well, what does that mean? Because see, they had 48 guys on the LIV tour, but how many guys got offered contracts? So, theoretically, every guy that got offered a contract and turned it down is going to be pissed right now. Scotty Scheffler. I don't know if he's capable of getting mad, but he might be. I mean, Spieth, how much did he turn down? How much? Rahm, what about Rahm? How much money did Rahm turn down? Hideki Matsuyama, $400 million. What did he? I mean, these guys can't be happy. I mean, they cannot be. Rory cannot be happy. I don't know what Tiger's like. He's not playing anyways. But how can these guys not be? I mean, they got to be mad, don't they? I mean, they got to be like really mad. And so one of the things I've heard, somebody, and this is just everybody's just guessing, is they're going to have to come up with some money to pay these guys that didn't jump ship. Like Ricky Fowler didn't jump ship. He probably turned down $100 million. He didn't jump ship. They got to do something for those guys, don't they? Or they're going to, if they just say, "Hey, thanks for being loyal, but we changed our mind. Now we're letting them, we're partners with these guys." I mean, those guys got to be so pissed. It's unbelievable. I mean, I don't care how big the purses are going forward. Those guys got to be so pissed. So what do they do about those guys? Okay, now the rank and file. Okay, the average, the middle of the road guys. I don't know what middle of the road is. 75 to 150. How about that? 75 to 150 on the PGA Tour. Those guys, what do they do? What do they do now? Now they're pissed because they thought they had a spot on the PGA Tour, but now there's 48 more guys coming back, and they're bumping those guys. So those guys are pissed. Those guys are not happy. So you got everybody that got offered a contract and turned it down. They're pissed. Everybody who now thought they had a bunch more money to play for because there's so many more spots, they're pissed. I mean, you got a lot of pissed people. I mean, who's not pissed? Who's not pissed? LIV. You know what? So those guys deserve a little something. You know why? Because those LIV players made it better. They brought more money. Them going to LIV, those guys making the jump, they caught so much crap from the corrupt golf media. They caught so much crap from the corrupt golf media. What's the corrupt golf media saying right now, by the way? They caught so much crap from the corrupt golf media, and you know what? What have they done? They made it better for the players. More money, more spots, more tournaments. Now, theoretically, the spots are, kind of gone down a little bit because now these guys are going to be able to come back and play. But my God, the players have to be pissed. All right, listen. Let me take some questions, some comments. David writes in. He says the most high-profile case of hypocrisy ever. I've been saying this since day one. People say, Hank, you love LIV. I don't. I hate hypocrisy. Hypocrisy drives me crazy. Say one thing, do another. And this is, you're right, David, the most high-profile case of hypocrisy ever. Ever. Never in my life have I thought of a higher case of hypocrisy than this. It's unbelievable. All right, Matthew writes in. He says, what's your thoughts on U.S. government being in Saudi Arabia and this tie to the PGA Tour and the merger? Who knows? This is the thing. The Secretary of State Blinken, or whatever his name is, over there talking with the Saudis right now and talking about furthering their relations with them. And, the Saudi Arabia is a huge ally of the United States. So all of this, and I understand they got human rights issues and the whole thing. And I'm not making light of that or, not unsympathetic for it. But that's, that's not my fight. Okay. It's just not. It's not my fight. If the U.S. government is over there talking to Saudi Arabia about furthering relations, and there happened to be, like one of our biggest allies, and it's okay for them, then why is it not okay for, golfers and PGA Tour golf? You notice the DP World Tour, they never said anything about all this dirty money stuff. Why? Because they were the ones that brought the Saudis into golf in the first place. So they weren't the ones that were talking about all this dirty money. See, they're just doing whatever Jay Monahan told them to do. But boy, oh boy. You see that I saw the comment by Jack Nicklaus. And I love Jack Nicklaus, greatest player ever. Well, greatest player ever because the way we pick the greatest player is the winner of most majors. Tiger Woods, nobody's ever played golf better than Tiger Woods. But Jack Nicklaus, what a spot he's in, see, because he talked to those guys. He talked to them. Well, everybody knows he talked to them. He talked to the LIV golf guys about doing something. I don't know what they want him to do. And he ended up turning it down. And then he acted like, he never talked to him. And then last week he makes the comment about Brooks Koepka and Cameron Smith. He said, I don't even consider them part of the game anymore. I mean, and you got to give him a little slack. I mean, he's 83 years old. I mean, you got to cut him a break. I mean, he talks to the media. Biden can't even read it off a teleprompter. Jack's just winging it, and he's 83. You got to give him a little break. But that was a stupid statement. And now here they are. They're all, they'll all be back at this tournament in 2024. The guys that weren't part of it, of the golf, they weren't part of golf, according to Jack. Now they're all gonna be back. Oh my goodness gracious! He said he talked to the commissioner. Commissioner told him. He said he said the commissioner seems happy about the deal. That was what Nicholas said. You know what? I don't know how much choice any of these people had. I mean, they needed, like I said, PGA Tour couldn't afford to go down the route they were going. They had to hit up their sponsors more. That wasn't going to work. They're losing leverage on the LIV guys, and the only the leverage they had was the majors. Well, the major championships were never going to go along with shutting these players out. That was never going to happen. That's not going to work. And why was it their fight in the first place? So the tour was losing leverage. A tour needed to come up with money. LIV wasn't selling any sponsors. And you know what? Now they can sell a ton. They got more money for the players. They got more money for the tournaments. Hopefully there'll be more money for charities. I'm sure there will be. And, there'll be some fresh ideas. Anybody with half a brain can look at LIV and say, you know what? They're really doing some good stuff. They're appealing to a younger audience. That's good. Okay. So maybe the PGA Tour, when they merge with LIV, maybe they can have some tournaments that appeal to this audience and some tournaments that appeal to that audience. And maybe some people don't like LIV, and that's okay. But, some people loved LIV. I've heard so many people, forget about what the corrupt golf media says. I had so many people that told me that they'd been to LIV events and they absolutely loved it. Loved it. A lot of people think the Phoenix Open's a bad PGA Tour event. They get 250,000 people in a day, and that's a bad event. I mean, it's different, but that doesn't make it bad. Gives more money to charity than any other tournament on the PGA Tour. That's not bad, is it? So things can be different. Things will change. Things will get better. I think that golf is the real winner. That's what I think. I think golf's the real winner. I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Everybody's got their own opinion. But it's amazing how different the opinions are from people that I talk to and people that write certain things on social media and attack people that, happen to have a different opinion. But there's a lot of people that are, vindicated today. That's for sure. Why? So Matthew wants to know, why do I think the merger was hidden from players on both tours? Because nobody's going to, because they don't have answers. The reason they hid it from all these guys is because there's nobody that's going to like this. No, I mean, the top players don't like it because they all turned down big money. So they turned down the money, and now you're telling me that all these guys are coming back? And I could have had that money. So they hate it. The middle guys all thought that all these guys going to LIV were leaving them millions and millions of dollars that they could play for and win. And now they're all coming back. So that money's not going to be there. And then the bottom end guys, 100 to 150, they all thought they had a spot, but now they don't have as many spots because the LIV guys are going to be coming back. So I can't find any group of players that's going to think this was a good thing. So that's why they didn't tell them. They didn't tell them because they told all these guys emphatically, if you go to LIV, you are never, ever, ever coming back to the PGA Tour. And now guess what? They're coming back to the PGA Tour next year. I mean, they're coming back to the DP Tour next year. So, of course, they didn't tell the players because there's not one group of players There's not one player. They couldn't, the reason they didn't tell the players, because they couldn't find a player that they could sell this on. There's no chance. There's no chance. But they were backed into the corner, and they had to do something. That's why when they made that stance originally, you know, if you leave, you're never coming back. It was like, it sounds good, but how are you going to back that up? Because now you can't, because now they're coming back, because there's a merger and they're coming back. So that's why they didn't tell them. And they're pissed. And people say, well, you know, they're pissed. You know, they're really, I saw this on Golf Channel. People go, oh, they're pissed because nobody told them ahead of time. What difference does that make? You know, that's like these idiots I hear that you know, the corrupt golf media, when I hear them talk about, oh, this guy's a phony because he says he's going to grow the game, but this guy's okay. You know, Harold Varner's okay because he just said he's going for the money. What difference does it make? I mean, really, everybody knows why they went. They all went for the money. Who cares what they said? They all went for the money. So, but does that make a guy a bad guy because he goes for the money? Well, why does that make a guy bad? Or this guy says he went for the money, so he's a good guy because he said he went for the money. He's a bad guy because he said he didn't go for the money. Well, we all know he went for the money. It makes no sense. But they couldn't tell the players. They couldn't tell the players because they knew there wasn't any players that were going to like this. All right, Matthew, what does he say? I know it's uncertain, but how do you see next year's schedule? Oh, boy. 8 elevated events on the PGA Tour. Then they're going to have they'll probably have 8 LIV events, which will probably, you know, they'll have some kind of team component. I'm just guessing, wild guess. Those are going to replace the World Golf Championships. So they won't have the World Golf Championships, but they have the 8 LIV events. There'll be some opposite field events. Then you got the majors, and then you got the TPC. And I guess the players will be back in the TPC. Maybe Cameron Smith will get his parking space back at Sawgrass at the TPC course. They took it away after he went to LIV. That's probably what it'll be. And then they're going to have to figure out the schedule. I think there's going to be more, you know, the LIV might be a little bit more of a worldwide deal. Maybe there's a few LIV tournaments, if it's still called the LIV, who knows? Maybe a few of those in the United States, but maybe not as many, maybe more overseas. You know, maybe there'll be more than, maybe there'll be more than 48 players. Maybe they'll have more teams. Maybe there'll be more than 4 players on a team. Maybe there'll be 6 or 8 players on a team. And any 4 players play at once on the team. And that way, you know, the teams change a little bit. Maybe all teams have a captain, but they have 6 players on a team. So, you know, you've got 12 teams, and now you got 72 players that make up your team concept. Who knows what the deal is going to be? Is it going to be 54 holes? Who knows? I mean, that was all BS to begin with about you can't be 54 holes. You know, more hypocrisy. And I'm sure that'll change too. But who knows? Maybe they'll make it, you know, they'll change it, and it'll, you know, won't be called LIV anymore. It'll be called, you know, PGA Tour Team. And, you know, maybe it'll be 72 holes, and then they can appease themselves, which is all they were doing, is appease themselves and give everybody world ranking points. They got to find some way. They're going to let all these players back on the PGA Tour and the DP World Tour. They got to find some way to equitably make them ranked where they really deserve to be ranked, because everybody knows right now the rankings are messed up. And who's that hurt? That hurts the major championships. So why should they be hurt? mean, what did they do? They didn't do anything in this thing, you know. So that's something they got to deal with. I think it's this whole exercise, and it's been, you know, this has been brewing for a long time, but this whole exercise is going to end up being great for the better players. You know, the rich are going to get richer, and you know, I think the middle of the road is going to get better off, but the rich are really going to get richer. There's going to, you know, the distribution of the wealth is going to get put more toward the top, and this goes to show you that you know, the players. See, they thought they call this the players tour. Okay, they all thought the players thought they had. I love it when people say that, oh, the players, you know, the players board. The players board. They have a players board. They have players representatives. I told you, there is no representation. That's just a BS thing they do. That doesn't exist. Well, if the play, this is not the players tour. Come on. If it was the players tour, then answer me this. How do they have a merger and don't even tell a player it's going to happen? It's not the players tour. It never has been the players tour. Never has been the players tour. They're going to do whatever they want to make their business better. That's what they do. And they try to appease, you know, as many players as they can so they can, you know, get by. But the fact is, the rich are going to get richer. And I think that based on this merger, just, I don't, you know, the players, the tour, the LIV, the whatever. Let's just talk about golf in general. Is golf in general better today than it was yesterday? And the answer is absolutely, positively yes. Absolutely positive. And because of that, I think it was a great day in golf. And I think this whole merger thing is going to be great. All right, that's all I got for you today. Remember to go to HaneyUniversity.com if you want to find out information about getting a golf lesson from me. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Hank Haney. You can also tune in to nofilter.net and catch me there when I'm recording my podcast, and you can join in on the conversation like we did today. Hope everybody has a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Stay safe, stay healthy. All the best.